Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second webinar in English language. So as the first edition, we will speak about technical training. It will be today regarding the i4gen suite configuration software, but with more advanced information regarding the programming. So we will speak about EasyFlex functions, we will speak about alternative selections, redirection, Modbus, etc. This part is really to adapt your products on compact platform regarding the technical needs of the customer. Really to adapt the product regarding the technical specification. As the first edition, the technical engineer and the sales engineer will be available during this training by chat. So if you have technical questions, do not hesitate to ask during the webinar. I wish you a very good technical training and see you after this interesting time. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good day to you. Thank you to come with us regarding this CRE webinar. So today we will speak about programming functions of the i4gen suite software for CRE technology compact platform. For each of products, so from the simple products, simple functions, until the more evolutions products, more advanced products, the programming system will be exactly the same. Okay, so we'll go to the IMF1. So I will show you regarding the simple product. After it will be the same. We will choose the last firmware. Okay, so the last one, it will be the 2.21. It will be available this week. And in terms of programming, you have different way to adapt your products regarding the technical specification. So we will discuss about the user variables, EasyFlex, alternative selections, scheduler, Modbus redirection, and modification by variable number. And the last part, it will be regarding the hysteresis system. So you go to digital or analog input. You go to Hysteresis digital input, and we will speak about this one. We will start with modification by variable number. Okay. So this is just to directly reach your parameter with a search mode, engine search mode. And here you can put the name of your parameter you want to see. So for example, here we can put kilowatt for power. Okay. And here you will have access to the nominal kilowatt active power. So here by default it will be 300 kilowatt. And after you can change the value with different way. So you can change like this. Biggest one.
or you can write directly the value with the laptop. And after, you can validate the value. Okay, so after I change to 320 kilowatts, I can go directly to the electrical generator and to check the value change. Okay, so for this, you can adapt regarding all the parameters of the IMF compact or other product. So it is simple to change with the i4gen suite or with the i4gen tactile touchscreen. Now we'll have a look regarding the scheduler. So this is also a really advanced value. It gives you the opportunity to schedule an action regarding the products. Okay. So here you will adapt regarding the function you want. Exactly the same way. You have a list of functions you want. So for example, if we want to start the generator with no load every Monday, okay, so I put remote start. So you can have a remote start on load, remote start off load, and remote start with timer. So here for this example, we will choose a remote start off load. I will choose the date. Okay, so I would like to start the next Monday. I would also change the hour. So for example, to the 6 a.m. Okay, so the next Monday, 6 a.m. in the morning. I would like to run during 2 hours. And I would like to work every week. Okay, so with this example, so I will have every Monday morning at 6 a.m. during 2 hours a remote start. So you will start your generator and you will run during 2 hours and every week. And after you repeat the action every 2 weeks regarding the system. You validate, and this is automatically in the controller. Of course, after you can add other function to schedule, and you can remove it with this icon, with this rubbish icon. After, in terms of programming, we can speak regarding the alternative selections. The alternative selections, it is a system to manage two different values about a variable, a parameter. Okay, so this variable can take two different values. And for this function, you will put a specific alternative selections. You can act regarding a digital input, you can act regarding a Modbus action, or you can act regarding a user variable. So for example, today, we can speak about a rental fleet generators to change a nominal frequency and nominal voltage with an external switch. And, for example, you can have a second switch for a directing nominal power system. Here, you will have a list of variables, okay, to adapt regarding this area. We can add, and after you can choose your different alternative selections. Maximum, you can switch 16 alternative selections. So here, regarding our example, you will use a digital input the number 5. Here we indicate 50 or 60 Hz. T on, T off, it is a timer, so regarding active or disactive digital input. So we can stay at 0, validity always, normally open, and the functions, we will put the alternative section 1. Can validate. And here we can adapt also the number 6, like derating and we will use the alternative section number 2. We create, regarding the digital input area, the 2 alternative selections. Okay, so we would like to change the nominal frequency. We add on the left part. We would like also add the nominal voltage. So remember, so if you activate an external switch, I want to change the nominal frequency. So I can use the drag and drop function. Okay. So if the digital input is not activated, I would like a 50 Hz. And if I activate the digital input, I would like a 60 Hz value. And you remember, I use the digital input 5 for the alternative selection 1. So I will use the alternative selection 1. And with the same example, with the same digital input, I can change also the nominal voltage. So I can add the second line with the nominal voltage here. So if you are at 50 Hertz, you will have 400 volts. If you activate the digital input, the external switch, you will be at 480 volts. And of course here, you can use the same digital input, so in fact, the same alternative selections. But you remember, we use an other digital input to change the G rating. So the G rating, it will be to increase or decrease the power of the generator. So I had the generator nominal kilowatt of the generator, and here it was a second digital input. So it was, for example, of course you can use the same one. So I add on other alternative selections. I will change the nominal power. Okay. So for example, you would switch between so when you are on switch 1, you will have 220 kilowatts. When you will activate the input, you will change the nominal kilowatt of the generator at 240 kilowatts. Okay, so internally in the products, all the protection is regulating a percentage. So automatically, you will not change the percentage, but you will change the level of the protections. Okay, and for this, we will use the alternative selections. It is not the digital 5, it is a digital 6. And internally, it is regarding alternative selection. So with this tool, it is perfect to change a parameter between two values. And after this, you will see on the other example, it can be the result of EasyFlex programming. The result can be an alternative selections. Okay, so now we will continue regarding the programming system. And we will go to Hysteresis system. It is to manage it will be to manage, for example, like to to fill a tank, so on high level and low level. Of course, we must activate the modification after your programming. And of course, you can delete a part of the alternative selection as you want. So now we go to the hysteresis system. The hysteresis system is to activate the digital output regarding an information about two digital inputs, a low and high level, or with analog input, so with two different thresholds. So the better example is to fill a tank, fuel tank, water tank, etc. But after you can adapt about other things. We will start with analog input. So it is this port. This is the resist part. And for this, we need to adapt on analog input. So analog 1, we will use like analog input. And after you can see the different curve. So it will be a resistive input. It is not an all pressure, so you will switch to custom. We will use like a liter. You can change the accuracy. And here you can import a specific curve on it if you want. Here we will manage easily. So the curve is for 0 ohm, you will have 0 liter. And for 500 ohms, it will be, in our example, 2000 liter. So you will have a linear curve, so it is a simple way. After, of course, you can adapt regarding your sensor. Validate. And now we can go to the hysteresis regarding the analog input. Okay. So do you want to activate the hysteresis? Yes, of course. Okay. And for example, so if the tank arrive to 100, you want to activate your motor, your pump, to refuel the tank. And the high level to stop the motor, to stop the fill the tank, we will put 1900 liter. Okay, so you just create a system to activate or deactivate with an hysteresis system an output. After here, you can choose if you want to activate your output on the low level, low threshold, or if you want to activate on the high threshold. Here on our example, we will activate the output when you will be in the low level. So it is this one. So activate. And to finalize, of course, we will go to set the digital output. So for example, this one, so output 5, fuel tank. You can change the label. Normally disenergize, and the function here, it is very important. It will be regarding the hysteresis system. So it is hysteresis output activation on analog. It is this one. After you can have some delay, but for this example, we put a 0 second for the timer. Okay. So now it's okay. When you will be in the low level regarding your analog sensor input, you will activate this output. We can have exactly the same system with hysteresis, but not with analog input, but with digital input. Okay. So it will be this hysteresis digital input. So we can take example, put 5. Tank, low level. So it is always available, normally open, and the function you will put regarding the hysteresis. So now this input, it will be the low threshold. And you can imagine now it is a high level. And here for the functions, it is not the low level, it is the high threshold, so getting the first digital input. Okay, and you can validate. So you have the tank low level, tank high level. And after you just need to do to the hysteresis. We will take the hysteresis digital input 1. At maximum, you have 8 hysteresis digital inputs. The first one, we want to activate. So the timers, okay, you can create a timer to start the hysteresis system. And like for analog, do you want to activate the output on the low level or on the high level? Here, for a fuel tank, we use a low level. We activate. And of course, you need to activate a digital output to set it. So we can keep the same. So we go back to the fuel tank digital output, but now is not analog. You need to change. This it is analog. Now we will put the digital. Okay, you activate, and now it's okay. So it was simple to adapt regarding your customer demand to manage a field system. So now we can go for the next step. It is an EasyFlex system. We go to programming and we go to the EasyFlex system. Okay. So it is a simple and really flexible solutions for programming. The interface is really similar to the alternative selections. But now the programming, it is in line. In the same way, on the left part, you will have the different variables you want to use. And the difference, it is regarding the operators. So you can use test operators. It is regarding the Boolean arithmetics or the normal mathematics calculations operator. Now the important things, it is also regarding the different letter you can see here, the R or the R and W. Some parameter values you can only read, so it is only the R letters, and some parameters, for example, you can read, but you can also write, so you can change the value. So if you go to the search part, if you want, you can see only the read value or the read and write parameter. So it is used for programming or also used for Modbus. So on the line programming, so of course you can use a constant. I'll show you. It is a value, so you can put the value you want. Here, example, it will be 40. After, to change different parameter, you can choose also your parameter you want to see by part. Okay, so if you want just to see a parameter regarding engine analog inputs, so you can choose. So it will be more easy to find different parameters. So here we can check example with the speed engine. I need to select everyone. Engine speed. And for example, other one. you can compare regarding the oil pressure. Okay, so after you can create your EasyFlex system. For each line, okay, here you can add the conditions. Click here. So I will execute this line if this condition is okay. So I will execute this previous line if this variable is equal to 0. Or I will execute this line if this line is not equal to 0. So this part is really to avoid to add a lot of AND Boolean operator. Okay. So here I can create an equations and we use an user variable. This it is a variable available for your calculations. And here I will stock these calculations. So for example, I can create engine speed. Here put an operator, for example, plus. So here I will put the value of the engine speed plus the value 40. Okay, and after you just need to validate your line. Here, excellent example, I have an error regarding the compilations because he explained me on the line 1, the variable conditions is not okay. So I go back on the conditions, and here, exactly, this variable is empty. So I just need to remove this. Activation. And now it's okay. On the user variable, this one, if I want, I can change the label. So to write your system, to write your programming, it will be easier to understand. So I go to programming, user variables. I use the user variables number 1. I can put the label speed plus. And if I go back to EasyFlex, you can see you have directly updated the new label. So to create your program, it will be really more easy. Maximum, you can create 50 lines of programming. So you have a large capability to adapt your products, your different products, regarding the customer technical specification. The first line will be execute in first, after the line number 2, number 3. Okay, So think about your program. You will start on the line number 1. So for example, after you can move your line. It is possible. And of course, you can also remove your line with the drag and drop system. So this, it was to explain the system to create your different line of program. So now we will have the capability to show you an example with this system. Now we will speak about the example to show you EasyFlex flexibility. So the example is simple. So we have a generator, and regarding the power between 90 and 100%, we will activate an output to activate the light, for example. The name of this output will be high power. And in the same time, if the temperature of the room is more than 40 degrees, we will activate a second output. The name will be air fan, to activate air fan, and we will switch the value of the max kilowatt threshold from 110% to 105%. Okay, so for this, we will create a line with the EasyFlex. So we can remove the previous one. So we will activate a variable when the kilowatt will be more than 90%. We'll take a good value. So the kilowatt in percentage is this one. And we will use a user variable. Number 3. Okay, and now we must check when the kilowatt generator will be below than 100%. So we create a second line with another user variable, number 4. Check the kilowatt, it will be below than 100%. We can change the name of the user variable. Number 4. It will be high power functions. I change automatically. Okay, so to avoid to create a number 3 line to check this and this one, we just need to add the conditions. So we will activate this line when this line will be at 1. So we just need to add these conditions. This line is executed if the user variable number 3 is at 1, so is not equal to 0. Okay, so now we just need to create the digital output. Digital output 5, and the name will be high power. And the function, you just need to use the name of the user variable. It is also iPower. Okay, so we finished the first part of the exercise. So you will activate iPower output when the kilowatt of the generator will be between 90 and 100%. The second part of the exercise is to activate the second output, the air fan, when the temperature of the room will be more than 40 degrees. So to check the temperature of the room, we will use an analog sensor. Number 2. We want to check it is more than 40 degrees. And for this, we want to activate the digital output. So we use another user variable. Number 5. Okay. So we can change the name of the user variable number 5. The name will be airfan. And now we need to set the analog input 2. We use the analog input 2. It is the temperature room temperature. It is analog one, resistive. It is not a water temp, it is a normal temperature. So we use a custom. It will be in degree. And after you check in the library, and here we will use a video 120. So it is this one. It is okay. We go back to EasyFlex, and you can see directly they change the name with room temperature. We go to activate the digital output. Fun. And the function, we just need to use the name of the user variable. It is airfan. Okay. So the last part of the exercise now, it is regarding the room temperature more than 40 degrees. Okay, we will change the value of the max kilowatt threshold. And to switch between two values, in fact, we will use alternative selections. We will use the number 3. So we want to continue to check the room temperature. Now, if this temperature is more than 40 degrees, we want to change the value between two values of the max kilowatt threshold. So now we go to the alternative selections to switch. So now to finish this training, we will go to the Modbus redirection area. Okay, so this is really to simplify the supervision system with TCP Modbus to the CRE controllers. So we have a specific area where you can add the different variable, parameter, measurement you want to send to the Modbus. Okay, so if you have, if you want to read the engine speed, the kilowatt nominal, the breaker feedback, it is different variable different. So we create an area where you can add the different value, and after you just need to create one frame from the PLC to read the Modbus. Okay, so the first one, the Modbus address is 10,000. Okay, and here, for example, you can put the speed engine. Okay, so for this Modbus address, you will have engine speed. After, for the second one, you can have the kilowatt. Okay, so this value, this variable, normally they are not in the same area, but now it is the address 10,000, 10,001, 10,002, 10,003. Okay, so it's really simplify the frame from the PLC to read the variable on the controllers. So this, it is the Modbus redirection, and you have a large page to redirect it. Okay, so this is really to simplify the supervision from the Modbus TCP. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your question. And I'm sure now with this webinar, technical webinar, you will able to really manage the programming on the different compact platform. So from the IMF compact, the simple product, to really the more advanced product. So thank you so much. See you for the next CRE webinar. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So thank you for your time and to be with us during this technical training. It is always a pleasure to share this technical information from CRE Technology to you. And this video will be available on our YouTube channel very soon. So you will be able to show this video to your team and to your customer. If you want the exercise page, you can send us an email, and after we can provide this exercise page we use for this webinar. So after you can use it for your training in your company. If you have some idea for the next edition of the webinar, if you want to see a specific function, so do not hesitate also to contact us and give this feedback. Interesting for us and a good opportunities to share with you. Now, if you need some information for technical or for sales or for product, do not hesitate to contact our sales team. We are always available to you and to follow your needs. Thank you to be there, and see you for the next webinar.